A man is sitting by himself at church. He sees you walk into the sanctuary. For a brief moment, you lock eyes. You think to yourself, did he just get nervous when we looked at each other? You then begin to feel your heart beat a little faster, wondering if the man will come and talk to you. You want him to approach you. You casually look back in his direction again. He's looking ahead, acting like he doesn't notice you. As the church service ends, you get up, hoping he talks to you as you walk by him once more. But as you head to the doors, he's no longer there. You think about him as you drive home, wondering if you'll ever see him again. Have you ever had an experience something like that? As a woman, you know what's going through your mind when this type of thing happens, but what's going through his mind when this type of thing is happening? Why do some men pursue sometimes and other men just don't sometimes? In this video, I'm going to give you 3 things that you can do that can really help a man pursue you if you want that particular guy to pursue you. Now, the heart behind this whole video, all 3 points, can be found in Philippians 2:4. Let each one of you look not only to his own interest, but also to the interest of others. Sometimes the best way to receive the relationship you want is to start spending more of your time thinking about what the other person needs. Number 1, if you want a man to pursue you, you have to help him realize that he's not bothering you. Let's review that same experience we talked about in the intro, but now let's look at that from the male perspective. He's new to this church, so he gets there a bit early, hoping to meet some friendly faces. He sits in the back though, because he's also a little nervous being somewhere new. Suddenly, he sees you walk into the sanctuary. He instantly thinks you're attractive. So when your eyes meet, he's a little flustered. He says to himself, "You idiot. You looked her right in the eyes. She probably thinks you were hitting on her." In his peripheral vision, he sees you looking in his direction again. But he assumes you're looking for someone else. So he's careful not to look your way. As the sermon ends, the thought crosses his mind, maybe I should go and talk to that woman. She was sitting alone. Maybe she's single. But then another thought rushes in. She'll probably think you're a creep if you just walk up to her. Don't bother her. So what blocks a man from pursuing a woman? I would say in a lot of cases, the thing that's blocking a man from pursuing a woman and just going up and talking to her, even though he really wants to, is just that idea that he's going to be bothering her. Ironically, many of the worldly guys, the players, are the ones who go up to women because they don't care if they're bothering them. They're just thinking about themselves. And a good guy sometimes overthinks it or is rightly thinking, and he knows, hey, like women always complain about being approached by pigs, and I don't want to add to that. I don't want to be perceived as that type of guy, so like I'm not just going to walk up to that woman, even though I think she's really beautiful and I'd like to get to know her. Now, a good man will eventually just approach a woman. He will pursue a woman, but he's first going to have to get over that fear of bothering her. He's going to either have to somehow figure out, oh, I'm not bothering her, or he's just going to have to risk it. And, ironically, you may have experienced this. When a guy does come up to you, a lot of times that first phrase that he says is, hey, I'm really sorry to bother you, but, and then he goes into what he was gonna say. But he reveals that little fear right there. I'm sorry, I don't mean to bother you. Again, sometimes there's just nothing you can do. A man does need to work up the courage and just go for it. But if he does do that, you have to at least somehow let him know that he's not bothering you. Because we live in a world right now where so many women are complaining about these types of guys, they're bothering me. They're always approaching me. We know that women are the hunted, so to speak. And so good guys are trying to be conscious of that, and they're worried that they're going to be perceived like a creep. And a lot of times women are like, whoa, who are you? I don't want to talk to you. And rightfully so, because it's a dangerous world and a woman has to be defensive at times. So, it's a tricky situation on both ends. But, I stand by the point. Somehow, if you want a man to pursue you, you really need to somehow let him know that he's not bothering you. A great way, if he does come up to you and say, hey, I'm sorry for bothering you, and then he goes into whatever, you could even highlight that statement and literally say the words he longs to hear. It's okay, you're not bothering me. And then respond to what he said. If he hears that, you're golden. He's gonna keep pursuing you if he likes you. Number 2, if you want a man to pursue you, make sure you welcome him if he's on your turf. Let's go back to that story we've been talking about throughout this video. Remember, this man was new to this church. You, however, have been going to your church for years. Therefore, this is a good reason for you to be a little more proactive, to give him the green light to approach you in the future. For example, since you know he was new because you know everyone at your church, after you made eye contact with him and you went to sit down, after thinking about it for a moment, you could have gotten back up and said to him, "Hi, I'm Rachel. Are you new? I haven't seen you here before." After he confirms he is new, you could then say, "Well, I always try to say hi to new faces. I know what it feels like to go to a new church. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to come and ask me. Okay, service is starting. Bye." You've now given him the green light for him to know he's not bothering you if he comes up to you in the future. And you're not pursuing this man because remember, he's on your turf. You're just being a welcoming church member because he's new and you're comfortable where you're at, and that's just a nice thing to do. If you were the new person at his church, then it would be more appropriate for him just to come up and introduce himself. And number 3, if you want a man to approach you again, make sure you approach him after he approaches you. So let me give you a little peek behind the scenes. After a man approaches a woman, he does self-reflection after that. He examines his performance, so to speak. How did that go? Does she think I'm a creep? Did I say anything stupid? I wonder how she feels about that encounter. In all likelihood, he's going to be very self-critical unless you give him a reason to assume that it actually went well. One of the best things you can do is mirror the attention that he's given you. So you don't need to initiate, but you definitely need to at least reflect. So if he texts you, you should sometimes text him first too. If he approaches you first, then next week or the week after, you should at least approach him too to make sure he knows it's mutual. A man will not keep pursuing you if you don't somehow let him know that you're enjoying his pursuit. This whole topic of being inviting towards a man is complicated, and I've actually written an entire book on this topic, and I go through the book of Ruth in the Bible line by line, and I help women apply the principles there to their own life on how to best help a man pursue her into marriage. So I've gotten a lot of great feedback from this book so far. It's my newest one. If you want to read this, you can check it out on Amazon. There's a link in the description of this video. It's called Invite Him, 16 Rules from Ruth to Help Your Future Husband Find You. I'm Mark from ApplyGodsWord.com. Hope this was helpful. Until next time, God bless.